Hey Peter, good to see you. Missed you this morning on our our Zoom stream, but great to see you today. All right, guys. Hey Vicky, good to see you. All right, a couple things we're going to do today. So for our members, I just sent out an email that had the Zoom link that we did this morning in case you missed it. And then I sent out a PDF, a Rootless voicing PDF, which is really nice. We had one of our students, Ted, who actually did this really cool voicing chart of all the lessons we've been doing. So thank you, Ted, for that. And then I also sent out the newest playlist stream. All right, this lesson is for everybody on the YouTube channel. So I hope we have a few new people join in today on that. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to pull up the Bob Songbook. It's actually, I pulled it up here on our window, but it might be kind of hard to see that. But even though all of our people in our membership area have this book, the Songbook, if anyone wants to get that, you can get it in the store, but the easiest thing to do is follow along and let me just teach you some of this stuff. If you're interested in learning about the community and what we do, it's a really cool opportunity. We have 16 people that have been with me for a long time. At least 10 of them have been there for a long time, like Peter, Vicky, Claire. Hey, Claire, good to see you. And it's just such a great community. I absolutely love it. So yes, you can purchase any of my resources, and but at the same time, it's this community that I absolutely love. So I love courses and community. I love to sell courses, but I want to make sure you're going through everything. So, all right, let's dig in with this. What we're going to do is kind of a recap of what we did this morning. We're going through Bob's Songbook. And as we get into this, if anybody, many of you have my courses and things, I have a crazy bundle that we'll talk about at some point through this. If you're a member, you always get everything of mine and you don't ever have to reinvest in anything. So, but if anyone wants that bundle, just go to iMusicAcademy.com. The link is down there and you can see what I'm offering. It's a really crazy thing so that hopefully you guys can see if, in addition to getting the courses, you would have an opportunity for a whole month just to try to see if this is right for you. All right, so this morning we did Dave's Leaving on a Plane, and I'm pulling it up in the membership area right now. I will be interacting with the chat because you guys are so awesome. And Claire, so good to see you. It's been a while. Not too long. Just it's been a while since I had you on a live stream. All right, this morning we did the jazz trio chords and blues scale licks, and I want to dig into that. What's up? What's up, Paul? I absolutely love Paul. Paul Gordon is one of our newest guys who keeps me on my toes all the time. Absolutely love Paul. All right. So Paul, real quick on Paul. Paul noticed something. I did the lesson yesterday with the triads. So just a little teaching moment in honor of Paul being here. So we did, this is a very cool tip. It works for blues, jazz, gospel, all kinds of things. But if you're in the key of C or technically in A minor, in this key of C, you have your C major triad, and then you go up a whole step to D minor, and you want to get these triads in inversion. And this is just one way of not only getting your ear training going, but you can create some really nice melodies and things by just using two triads, your C major or your D minor. And Paul emailed me and said that he said it sounded like you make me feel like a natural woman. So anyway, Paul has really good ears, so good job on that. All right, he loves to tell me when I mess up too. Awesome. All right, jazz trio chords. This is going to be a mix of blues and jazz, and what I absolutely love about blues and jazz is they work so well together. Make sure you guys like this video as it's up. It helps me know that you're into this and enjoying this. You don't have to say hello in the chat, but that also makes me feel good when you say something in the chat, but also like the video. It helps me want to continue to create these because I feel like it's helping you guys. All right, jazz trio chords and blues. Let's just do a quick tutorial. I did this morning on the Zoom lesson, but as a reminder, whenever you're spelling chords, you go left to right. So if I say this first chord that's C9, and to make sure you guys can see this, we are working in our Bob's Songbook. Everybody has a copy of this. You guys know this. I've sent it out multiple times this last week. and you see you have I See a Pattern Blues, I See Solo Blues Transcribed, this whole index of 19 songs. Every single song here that you're looking at teaches a concept, something that we're working on as a group, or something to teach you about blues, or something to teach you about jazz. This morning we did a crossover of we did the Jazz Trio Blues Chords. We also did Dave's Leaving on a Plane, and there are reasons we did those two particular songs. So if you want to go watch the Zoom class that we did this morning, it is in the new playlist that I sent this in the previous email. Jazz Trio Chords, Blues Scales, and Licks. So whenever you're in the Bob Songbook and you click on any of those titles, it pulls it right up and you go right to the lesson. If you want to see an audio version of this, you just click Jazz Trio Chords and Blues on the camera icon, and you see it takes you right to the lesson. We're not going to waste time listening to that, but that's the way this PDF works. If you want to hear the audio file, you just click the camera icon. If you want to get back to the index, you just click the home button on any of these charts and it takes you back to the top. Okay. When you're spelling chords, jazz, blues, or anything, you do the bottom to the top, always spelling left to right. So if I say 3 flat 7 9, I want the third note of the C scale, which is E, the flat 7 of the C scale, which is a B flat, and then that D. So that's a 9, so a C9 chord. Now when I say C9, why is that second note not just the second note of the C scale? Whenever you have the flat 7 and you add notes on top, that now becomes a 9 because you're building on top what are called extensions. So this would be a C7 chord, this would be a C9 chord, that would be a C7 sharp 11, and that would be a C13. So there you go. All right, now, when I say, all right, build a C9 chord, and I want you to use the formula 3 flat 7 9, if I said to you, Paul, or Vicky, or Ted, if I said, build me an F9 chord, I want you to use that same formula of 3 flat 7 9 of an F scale. Let me do it in B flat. B flat has 2 flats, B flat and E flat. So if I say, build me a B flat 9, you give me the third note of the B flat scale, the flat 7 and 9. If everybody understands that, please say that in the chat, and make sure you understand. So just say got it or something like that. And if you have any questions, you can always let me know. And while all of our members are on here, I want to say something. So Ted is on right now, and Ted did a killer job with this PDF that he did, this Rootless voicing PDF. So make sure you guys download it from that email. All right, so Paul's good. All right, so whenever we are building chords, you always think of that major scale. Very important. So what's great about this is the first chord, C9, no problem. The next chord in the PDF is F13. Now notice that when I get from this C9 to an F13, all I have to do is lower the bottom two notes down a half step, and now I have a really nice F13 voicing. Now if I'm going to switch it around and play this so you can hear what the bass is going to do. The bass is going to do, let me do that again. 2 and 3 and 4. So you see how the bass is doing his thing, and that's what makes these rootless voicings sound nice. It gives you something to play that doesn't double up what the bass player's playing, and then you get to comping the soloist, which in this case it's me playing the right hand melody. Now I wrote this melody here in the octave, this bi-middle C, but it would overlap the voicing. So what we're going to do is play this melody up the octave. So right now we're going to just do the first couple of measures, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. So that's the first line, the first 4 measures. The reason I put that lick in the top is notice what this comes right out of our beginning blues shape. Shape 1 at iMusicAcademy is the first 5 notes of the blues scale, but I intentionally put this as the opening part of the melody. First 4 notes of the blues scale. This will work over the entire blues progression if I wanted to. If I was playing in a jazz band and I wanted to hear, just listen how it works over everything. 2 and 3 and 4. Right? You see how it works? All of that will work. But we did vary it up just a little bit on the second line. So in the second line, we actually did on the F13, we did the bottom version, which is actually our shape 3. And if you remember that, shape 3, what can you do? Just put something in the chat like got it or a G. You go down 3 half steps from the root, and that gives you the A blues scale, and I can do the same thing. So we had these 2 ideas. 2 and 3 and 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have shape 1. Get you all the way through the blues, and then we have the shape 2, or technically I think it's shape 3 in our shapes chorus, but that right there, that one idea that's on line 2 can get us all the way through the blues and really thrive with that. I could play just this, the A blues scale over a C blues, 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 2, 3, 4. Right, you see how that works? You have 4 notes. You can turn them around in any way you want to. Notice in the very first 2 measures we did that same rhythm. Well, I could do one of our beginning blues sheets. All of you have the beginning blues sheets where we do things like this. So even that one idea I could take through all of these chords. 1, 2, and ready, go. I hope that makes sense. If that makes sense, put that in the chat. I want to make sure everybody knows. And Peter, it's so good to see you as well. You jumped on first or right after Vicky, and missed you yesterday, the other day in the stream, but so glad that you were able to jump on today. Peter and Vicky are always on early in the morning. Okay, now, since we're talking about these ideas, I'm going to skip down to where the D minor is. This idea of where it says D minor 9, the idea of da dee da 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 bum da dee da da da. All right, very cool, Paul. All right, so listen to this. Very important. If you have a C triad, boo doo 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 doom, and I'm in the key of C blues, and C is my chord, this idea of da-dee-da-da-da-da, awesome, Claire, da-dee-da-da-da-bum. Notice my middle finger is already on my target note, which is the major third of C, ba-dee-da-da-da-bum, and I'm doing an enclosure. In the jazz world, an enclosure is a note, you have a target note, in this case the third of the chord, and I want to do da-dee-da-da-da. I'm surrounding my target note, F, E flat, E, da 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 da, and you hear this all the time in jazz music. Da 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 bum, boo da 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 ba da ba da ba da 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 da, and I go da 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 da. So my target note I'm trying to get to, but it's called an enclosure whenever you do that. And then the great thing about this is it doesn't matter what key I'm in. I can do the same exact motion on my F chord. My middle finger is, I'm thinking about the F scale now. F is 1, 3 is our A, and 5 is our C. And I can think of the same thing if I'm on the F chord. Da-dee-da-da-da-bum. I'm working my ears, I'm working my fingers, and I'm getting this as a part of my vocabulary. So I can go da-dee-da-da-da-bum. Nice. Very cool. That's really cool. All right, yeah, well, we are glad you are back and glad you had some family time there. Usually the third. Hey, Paul, that's a great question. Is usually the third? Not necessarily. For instance, if let's say if I was doing a D minor chord, and there's my note, I go. So pretty much any note you can think of, I can enclose the ninth. If I was doing C minor, a little jazz run I could do. Right? Or I could do the minor ninth coming down. So it doesn't matter what note, but whatever you're doing, you're enclosing any note. Could be the third, the fifth, the seventh. If I wanted to enclose on a D, let's just do it on D minor. So if this is my D minor 7, I could go, or the minor third. That's a great one. I could go. I mean, it sounds a little weird to do sort of that the F sharp, but I could do the G, which is in the key, or that's a nice one. So even that one, there's the fifth enclosing that. Great question though, and keep those questions coming. I love it when we can talk about stuff like that. Okay, now very important with this D minor. When I went da 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 bum, you can use that over the D minor and the G13. So da 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 bum, da 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 bum, da 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 da. That works because I'm doing a C major, but it also works over the 2, and the 5 chord. That's why you can get through this whole blues by just playing those very simple things. 2 and 3 and 4. Two and 3 and 4. Now I switch to the lick here. Da dee da 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 boom, da dee da 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 bo da. Okay, so the next thing I would say is you have these simple ideas and they're kind of jazzy and bluesy at the same time. What a perfect opportunity to use some of our blues roadmaps from volume 1. You hear all the time us doing the 6th note in our blues. Right? That's right out of blues volume 1. Where we're usually doing this kind of feel. But even in a jazz context, it'll work. Still works there. Still works there. 2, 3, 4. Isn't that amazing how all of that works together, right? You can play that same lick all the way through the entire blues progression. Another blues roadmap that we do all the time is also from Blues Volume 1. It's just fits right into the hand with that triad as well. Do da 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 2 3 5 2 3 5. Right, I wouldn't do it for that long necessarily, but you get the idea. All right, another very important thing that I want to transition to. Let me before I go to the next song, let me go through the left-hand voicings just to make sure we're all on the same page as you work on this song. I want everyone to work on this specific song because even if you get these left-hand voicings together, it's going to open up your world when we start using iRealB. You guys know we've been doing training with the iRealB app, or iReal Pro is what it's called now, that app. And we talked about this morning that I'm going to do a jazz blues setup for you guys this next week where we get you set up on iReal Pro, but we're also going to use this song to where you're playing along with the jazz band with iReal Pro app. So stand by for that. But in order to really get these voicings down, I'm going to show you a quick trick that we can do. So for a C9 voicing, you're going to use 3 flat 7 9. F13, I think of the F scale, flat 7, 3, 13, and back to C9. This next thing I call pinky up, pinky down. Pinky up, pinky down. That gives you the G minor and the C9. And then we're back to F13. And what's really cool about the F13, then it goes to an F sharp diminished 7. You do not have to change your voicing because that F sharp, what's called a diminished 7, is part of that diminished scale, that F sharp diminished scale. So you just keep that voicing the same, and then it's C9. So now I'm thinking about my 3 flat 7 9 of a C scale, and then watch this chord right here. Really beautiful chord for A7 flat 13. Normally, if I was doing a flat 7 of the A scale, how do you find the flat 7 anyway? You go down a whole step from your root. It gives you the flat 7, 3, and not a normal 13, but I'm flatting the 13 because it says A7 flat 13 to a D minor 9. D minor 9. Listen how beautiful that is. One of the best sounding chords, a simple D minor 9. And that's a flat third of a D scale. Normally you have an F sharp, but a flat third, a flat 7. Normally you have a C sharp and D, and your 9th. Why is that a 9 and not a 2? Because we have our flat 7 and we're adding the extensions. So we have this A7 flat 13 to D minor 9. Now, when I'm playing that A7 13, flat 13, and you hear da to this, dum, 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 what that does is really nice voice leading. How smooth you connect to the next chords is we often call voice leading. Da, da, really natural there. And then if you notice the next chord down is what? G13. And all I have to do is lower my index finger from C to B, and now I have a G13 chord. So that's the flat 7 of a G scale. Normally G has an F sharp, but I flat that and I give you the 3rd and the 13th. So listen to this nice voice leading we have. I'm starting back at measure 5, 6, 7 right here on the C9 right here. I'm going to go here and put on the pedal. Here's your A13. Listen, da, dum, dum. Now I'm going to do the turnaround. A turnaround is a set of chord changes that gets us up to the top of the form again. So we do 1, 6, 2, 5. In the world of jazz, if you hear somebody say a 1, 6, 2, 5 chord progression, they're basically saying, all right, we're basing this chord progression after the C major scale. And we say, what's the 1 of C major? And well, it's C. What's the 6 of C major? 1, C, D, E, F, G, A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A7. What's the 2 of C major? D minor. And then what's the 5 of C major? C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 6, 2, 5. Or C, A7. D minor, G. And when if you ask somebody, or somebody were to ask you, what's the most popular chord progression in jazz? It's the 2-5-1 progression. It's what you hear when you do this. Da da da. 2 of the scale of C, 5 1. All right, now listen to this. 1 6 2 5 1. That's such a nice sound, right? And very simple voicings. And then you can even go, okay, this is a little bit more advanced, but something we've been working on, and I'm going to show you something that we did this week that'll really help. When you do this, or all I'm doing is something that we did a day or two ago with our 20 tips for 5 minutes practice success. And I think it would be really important to show this to you guys, because this is another gift that is in my newest bundle that I just put on the website. Not for our members. Our members get everything. You guys know that. But if you do get that bundle, which is crazy on sale, we had 3 people sign up this last week, and I'm going to let it keep going throughout the weekend. But if anybody gets it, not only are they going to get all 5 courses for Easy Jazz Bundle Easy Blues course plus the 4 blues courses, I'm also putting in the course you get, or in the bundle, you get the alternate bassline course, which is so important, and then this 20 tips for 5 minutes success, and 1 month access to our membership group, which is pretty cool. We have 3 people trying it out right now, which is awesome. And that's a whole, that's a can of worms that I'm not going to open in terms of all the craziness and all the courses that are in that. But let me show you guys this 5 minute thing. This is mainly, I want our members to see how awesome this is right here for you guys. Okay, I've done 2 or 3 videos this week on this. This is such a great PDF for you guys. If you say, all right, I'm going to wake up and I only have 10 minutes to practice today. This gives you tips that you can do. You can start off at the first thing. You can turn on your timer, metronome. That's very easy. If you just go up and down and then you say, all right, I'm going to learn it in a different pattern. And you go through those very simple patterns. Then we have the blues scale, 5-note pattern, which is great, pentatonic shapes. And then we have on page 2, the very first one on page 2 is just this, right? Same exact shapes to go up to F and do the same thing. Same thing on G. And remember that you're either doing one of 2 fingerings, right, with this specific exercise. You're either doing a slide from the minor third to major third, or you're hammering on, and I'm going to hammer on fingers 2, 3, and 5. If you can do those 2 fingerings, and we talk about how to do that in detail, then you can play it in all 12 keys. I sent you guys the playlist that has all of those streams in there, and so you can definitely go back and check out tips that I did for this 20 tips for 5 minute practice success. All right, there are other things that if you only had 10 or 15 minutes to practice, here's one I love, is starting on the flat 7 or whatever we're doing. Da 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 da, and you get your little bass line going. Da 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 da. If I was going to F, da 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 da, that's the flat 7 of F. And then so there's great tips there. There is the jazzy C lick for C major or C7. We just actually did that. And then the C7 blues pattern, right? We did that yesterday. What a fun little idea to get going, and a fun little thing to practice for 5 minutes. All right, you have the C6 lick. All right, now we're getting to some of my favorites to go, okay? And I need to make sure you guys are with me here. Has anybody tried the 20 tips PDF yet? I'm telling you guys, this is gold. Even this one example that I'm going to show you right now, this is for everybody. It doesn't matter if you have the PDF or not. This C6 lick right here, I'm sliding minor third to major third from the C up to that the E natural. So I have, I'll get the bass line going here, C, G to C, A, 2 and 3 and 4. I'm practicing so many different things with this one thing right here. I'm getting used to sliding with my second finger E flat to E. Right? That's one big win that we have right there. When I go to F, it's the same finger motions. I'm just now outlining the F chord, and I go minor third to major third. Very important. G, same thing. Okay, if I am in a different key like D major, I'm going to have to hammer on to that major third. So once again, you have one specific thing that you're going to do a little bit differently. You're going to do it a little bit different than the other, and now you have all keys. If you can hammer on to the major third, and then on the other keys, you're going to slide from the minor third to major third, and then you're good to go. Okay, that's a really fun one to do, and I would encourage everybody to do that. Let me give you just a couple more tips as to why I like that. One specific example, and then we're going to finish out by just talking about these Ray Charles things real quick. Okay, so you have this idea. Not only am I getting that minor third to major third, I'm also including a triplet, 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 and 1. Now for you that have the alternate blues course, which is for all of our members, or some people have bought it as a standalone, you have all these bass lines where you're doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Or right, so there are all kinds of things you can do just by changing the bass line to a lick like this. It totally changes everything. The other thing you're doing is you're getting the octave, the spacing of the octave. That's a really important thing for everybody to practice. Get used to opening up your hand and getting the spacing of the octave, and even practice the simple idea of maybe playing the first 5 notes of the blues scale. Because if I was just playing a simple improvisation with blues example 1, and I did this C6 lick, I could go up to that E flat and have a nice little melody there. So then I could play blues scale notes. Right? And you get used to that spacing there. Okay, now getting that octave is really important. You have to keep up. You have to keep up with that. If you're used to playing a bunch of single notes, it won't be as easy for you. But if you start getting in the habit of playing some octaves every now and then, it'll really help you out. Okay, now the Ray Charles things. I get so many emails from you guys loving the Ray Charles things, and we have that whole Ray Charles PDF workout that we've done. I've sent it out to you guys, and if we have any of our new members, the ones that are trying us out, and you would like any of that, I will gladly send that to you. So just email that to me, or email me that you would like that, bob@iMusicAcademy.com. But you guys know that on the Ray Charles thing, we did the bass line, and we have a whole workout that starts from the ground up, right? But we do in our right hand, we have this slide 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have to slide back down, and then you put it together. Again. We have a whole system the way we like to put all that together. But I also put all this in the key of C for you guys to get this down. So I love even right hand practicing by yourself, by itself, right hand only, of this. Now what is happening here? There are a couple of different fingerings you can use. You can either use 2, 3, 4, 5, which is sort of that what we call a down home fingering. Let me check my camera really quickly. Okay, I want to make sure you guys could see that. Okay, so my down home fingering, I never would have thought that down home fingering would have been in my vocabulary. I started off when I started playing music, I learned about triads and about Bill Evans and about classical music, but I never thought that I would be sliding from like a flat fifth down with one finger, my middle finger, and I would always play 4/3. Going up, I would slide things. I just never thought about coming down with the same finger. But now I understand why and the importance of that. I actually have Claire to thank for really getting me interested into and really digging into Ray Charles for that. So thank you, Claire, for that. But as you're learning these licks, you get this, and you can really get the sound you're looking for. this one specific example, so I'm on the 3rd page of our 20 tips for 5-minute practice success, and you're either going to use fingers 2, 3, 4, 5, or you're going to use 1, 2. I kind of like this one. I think this is more of a secure fingering in the key of C. So my target note is the G, and you just have to get used to practicing 1, 2, 2. But my target note is that G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. The one thing I haven't done today that I've done every stream in the last couple of weeks, most of them, turning on the metronome. There are 2, this is for everybody, whether you're a member or not. I want everybody to hear this. If we really want to get good fast, or just get good in general, you're going to use some kind of timer, right? In this case, I just have a little kitchen timer, and you're going to say, all right, I'm going to practice 5 minutes. And you put on your timer. This one's so easy to use in theory. There we go. And I do 5 minutes. And I usually give myself an extra minute when I do it. And I put it on, and I'll start it. I'm like, okay, I have 1 minute to sort of get my mind ready. And then I'm going to spend the time doing this. And maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to restrict my practice. Let me do it again. 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. Or right, you guys get it. I would do that for 5 minutes, and then you would say, man, the time sure did fly by, and I got a lot done. So you decide what you're going to do, and then you work on it. Thank you for the likes that keep coming in, and I want to give a special shout out for anyone who might be watching the live for the first time. And it doesn't matter if you're a member or not. This is just about having fun, learning about music. All right, so that's one thing, is to use a timer. We're getting into that. And the other thing is, I love this resource, onlinemetronome.com. And that is where it's just go to onlinemetronome.com and make a little window if you're on your PC or Mac, and make a new window. Go to onlinemetronome.com. And it's a very simple way to use your metronome. And somebody asked me the other day, said, well, why don't you just use your phone? Well, it can be distracting even if we have our phones out, right, when we're practicing. So having this up here, it's so easy, and I might practice this, turn on my metronome, so easy to use when I do this. It's nice and slow. Now, a couple of fun tips here. Sometimes people have I'll say we all have trouble locking up the hands whenever we're working on something. The idea of swinging something, and I'll use the example, blues example 1, which is our most popular lick, the one that got us up to over 1 million views on that one video, is this. If you're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and you have trouble kind of making it have that sort of swing feel, the best way to think about this is the actual rhythm is more like a triplet feel. So 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. That's the rhythm. That's how you get the feel of it. But sometimes it's hard to think in terms of even the triplet or that swing feel. And you have trouble locking up the left hand and the right hand. And one thing I love to teach is you can play it slow and straight. My guys and girls in this room right now know that I like to practice slow and straight. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and when we talk about locking up the hands, you can go as slow as you need to go, even on this Ray Charles. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Now, in the Ray Charles, that's the actual rhythm that we use in our workout. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, that locks up together, the C and B flat. Okay, how am I going to do that? 1 and 2. Okay, the C and G are together. Okay, that's together, so that G. And then that's by itself. Oh, and the C's are together. Oh, the B flat and the C are together. So there's a whole system of how you put this together. It's not just, oh, hope that it works out. No, it's taking one little section at a time, and I'm not going to search for this PDF, but the way we like to break things down is you do it as simple as this. Okay, let's get to that point. 1 and 2. Okay, G and C are together. 1 and 2. Oh, the G is repeated there. 1 and 2 and then the B flat's by itself. Oh, and the C's are together. So there's a whole system of how to lock all this up together. All right, now let me show you one other fun tip on this PDF, is that with this same idea of the what I'd say lick, that's going to the 5th, and Paul did a great job of asking questions about which chord tone we were on. Were we on the 3rds, the 5th when we were doing the enclosures? Well, this same idea, which is so nice and groovy to be able to go slide up, slide down. Well, why not let's do that on a different chord tone? You can do the exact same form, the shape of the line over that minor 3rd of C. And I want you to notice something that happens when you do that. So if I was just playing this blues groove right here in the left hand, and I did this. 2 again. Let me do the Ray Charles one. You hear how they both work? So I could do this. So notice that even when I just did that, I did the Ray Charles lick, same form and everything, but I said, all right, I'm going to get to the 3rd instead of the 5th. And notice how they both work. But something else really nice happens. You're going up to the 6th note. Da, da. Well, guess what that takes you to? Ba-da, da, 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 da. Right from Blues Volume 1. That's one of our blues roadmaps. All right, let me go back to the chat. Very good. Awesome, Ted. Jeffrey, what's up, brother? Love Jeffrey. Jeffrey is one of my OGs. He's been around for forever. Jeffrey is a very talented musician, multiple instrumentalist. Awesome, Jeffrey. Hey, thank you, everybody, for the likes that are coming in. And we're going to go, let me see what time it is. We're going to go, this has been so much fun. We're going to go until 3 o'clock, and we're going to end on 3 o'clock on the dot for anybody who's still hanging out. This has been, man, we have packed a lot into this. Yeah, so happy sounding. Yes, Vicky. All right, so let's talk about how you're going to lock some of this stuff up. You have this idea of our blues roadmaps, for instance. I'm not inside the membership area, but you guys who have, most of the people on this stream right now, you have access to the membership area, and we have our blues road maps. One of our blues examples we've been working on is the very first one, right? This is a great warm-up, right? You have all this. Ding. Now you can put that Ray Charles tip and you just go. Da, da, da. Now, when I went to here, guess what? We're right in the idea. Let me go back to our other PDF. We're right, second line, you have this, which is also in our beginning blues sheet. You guys know that this, one of our options. The great thing about these shapes, and in our blues membership area, you guys know that there's this shapes course. Very important to remember that. You have the blues shape course and you have the blues shapes course in all keys. So I want to invite everybody to make sure you're visiting that sometimes. And for those of you who are not members, let me just tell you, I love to teach shapes. This is shape 1 at iMusicAcademy, right? You get these down, you can turn around so many ways. Or I could do this. Right? That's just one shape. You can take that shape and go down 3 half steps. Now you're on the shape that's on this PDF right here. Okay, that's perfect. The top half of the blues scale is shape number 3. What does that give you? That gives you the 5th, the flat 7, the root, and the minor 3rd. Notice that it works over the entire blues. All of these shapes work over the entire blues. Isn't that fun to know that? If I wanted to get that tritone in, so maybe I want to do this. So you see how that is actually this, but down the octave. And I could even do right for our jazz nerds in the room. Okay, now let me wrap up by saying this. We have just a few more minutes. Just starting to learn piano, the pulse of jazz. Nice. The run has started to be the finish line and be playing jazz and blues. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, well, we are so glad that you stopped by. You're just starting to learn piano. Yeah, you know what? What I love about that, yes, from Poland, that's so. I love the way the internet works, where we can be all across the world and connect with each other. We are so glad you're here, and I want to encourage you and all of my beginners out there. These shapes are gold, right? You learn shape 1 even at iMusicAcademy or anywhere else you want to learn it. And I always teach that you put your hands over each note. For anybody who is wanting that blues bundle and jazz, there's the Easy Jazz course. Let me just speak to that, because I still use the Easy Jazz course, even though there's an extended version. In the Easy Jazz course, I literally go from shape 1, which is the first 5 notes of the blues scale. The 5th lesson, within 25 minutes, you're playing D minor, G13 walking bass line to C, and you're doing this really cool bass line and Bill Evans voicings. At first we do 2 notes, and then we do 3 notes, and then we do 4 notes. But it's all about how you learn this stuff and how you go about doing that. Yeah, Jeffrey knows. All right, so there's one thing I forgot to mention to my 20 tips thing. All right, look at the very last, for all my members here, 20 tips for 5-minute practice. Look at the very last two line, or the last line. It has this walking bass line. This is actually in the Easy Jazz Piano course. Okay, now how would I use this? I have this simple shape right here, and I also teach shapes in chords as well as in licks and ideas, because it's just such an important thing to know that yes, you can have these shapes here, right, that fit under the hand, and all the notes are going to work. But the same thing with our jazz voicings. I have this same shape, but it doesn't matter what key I'm in, I'm still in this shape as we go up, right? My hand's going to stay in that particular grip or shape. All right, now watch this. For my more experienced players, I'm going to play this bass line, which takes me D minor, and it goes up here, and all I do is change one note. Now I have a G13. Now watch what I could do. 2, 3, 4. If you have a little more experience, you're going to go up, right? And I could go up. And the reason I can do this and not even have to think about it is because I practiced the repetition of getting this down first, and then I learned how to do a different fingering that would get me to this. The fingering is just a little bit different. Now it's 3, 1, 3, right? And then it's back to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I can do that. And then I'm going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 again because that feels good, and I practiced that before. Now 3, 2, 1 is the only way this one's going to work. Then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now 3, then 5, 3, 5, and go down. And the last one is 3, 2, 1. So notice that in order for me to play all 12 keys with one idea, one shape, all I had to do was either do that fingering or this fingering. Isn't that amazing? If you think that's amazing, put that in the chat. Put amazing. I do believe that everybody can learn all of this and even more than I could ever do. But the main thing is that if you just learn how to learn by learning that there are different fingerings that you can use, but it's often just one different fingering that will get you through all the keys. And this is the perfect example. And I'm going to I think I'll do a very short lesson to show people how to do even an example as short as that in all keys. Now, we just talked about this 20 minutes tip. The very last one I like even better. Listen to this. C major 9, and this is also Ted's PDF has these examples in it as well. So check your email for those of you who are in the membership area, or sorry, your email list. But listen to this. 1, 6, 2, 5. So after you learn how to do it simple, then you start putting some simple rhythms over it. And the great thing about that was wrong. And then the great thing about it is once you learn how to do this, you're learning these chord voicings in our left hand. Then you can even use things as simple as this. Right? I'll do this very slowly. Here's the 1, 6, 2, 5. Maybe go back to this. How about that one? All right, you guys get it. All right, very cool on that. Amazing, amazing. It's amazing. You are amazing, Paul. All right, we're going to wrap it up. We have 6 more minutes and we're going to sign off. We've been going for a whole hour. If you're just now joining us, I see we have 10 people watching. Thank you for being here and thank you for hanging out. There is a lot to go through in this 1 hour that we have had together. All right, here are your practice reminders. And if you have any questions, fire them in the chat right now as we sign off. But I just want to give people an opportunity to be a part of what we're doing if you're still here. Most of the people in this stream today, when you see people coming, have been members with me for a while now. I've had this underground membership for 2 years. I created this, I bought this software for a lifetime membership, so I loaded on all my blues courses, and it's a very fast, very awesome way of hosting the courses and everything. And we do these things called blues roadmaps. So I say, all right, guys, this week we're working on example 1, or we're doing maybe example 5, or we're doing example 9 or 10. And we go through all of these things, and the software keeps track of each person, personalized, individualized, so you know, oh, Paul has completed 2 lessons, Vicky has done 1 lesson, or whatever. But everybody's their own login, and you can keep up with your own practice. Nobody else knows how far you have gone through each course. But it's really nice. I absolutely love it. I'm so glad I did it. But what I love more than anything, I love creating courses, but I absolutely love community. Paul, Ted, Vicky, Peter, they'll all tell you, and I think we have 16 members now. We have 2 or 3 people that bought the bundle that I'm offering right now at a crazy, ridiculous price. The link is there in the description right there. We had 3 people sign up this last week, and they're already in the membership area. And what I've done is, in addition to that ridiculous price, which you'll see when you go in there, you're getting 7 courses. You're getting 4 blues courses. You're getting the easy jazz course. You're getting the alternate blues bassline course, and you're getting the 20 tips. But if you act now, yes, I'm saying that. Just being very honest, everybody knows here that in our membership area, I send you all this free stuff to go along with the membership area. For instance, this book that we've been going through today, this Bob Songbook, which if you bought it in the store, it'd be like, I don't know what it is, $50 or whatever it is. It's totally free because nobody has to pay for anything extra than the 1 lesson a month with me is what the investment is. It's just like getting 1 lesson a month. But these guys know that I give 2 lessons minimum live every week where we do exactly what we're doing right now. And it's a very important community to me. And there are reviews on my website you can see, but I am all in when it comes to teaching people how to do all this. If you have any questions, let me know. And if it's not me that is the right fit for you, find a community, find somebody that really makes you excited and motivated to learn about music. That's the most important thing for me. All right, so does anybody have any questions? Or what questions do you have? Anybody? And then we're going to sign off in 3 minutes. But it's been a great time together. From the Bob Songbook, next week we're going to continue working on this with our membership group. I See a Pattern Blues. I love all these tunes. They all teach something different. For instance, while I'm waiting for the questions to come in, I See a Pattern Blues. It's a descending blues scale, right? But what makes it sound musical is starting on the end of 1. Da, 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 ba, da, da, and then that leads in right to the flat 7. Ba, da, 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 ba, da, ba, da, ba, da, 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 and then it does this Oscar Peterson kind of lick. You guys know I love Oscar Peterson and all these licks. Da, dee, da, ba, dee, ba, da, ba. It's right out of the blues scale. But that right there is right in the very first song in the songbook. Anyway, as you learn that, now you have this Oscar Peterson type lick that you could use anywhere. When you have all this repetition and you learn all these things, then it just becomes natural, and you'll start to do all these things on your own. You'll say, all right, I remember learning this example right here, but maybe I don't want to play it exactly as it's written. Maybe I want to start at the top and come down. Or maybe you want to go up halfway and come down. There's example number 10. right, I hope you guys understand how much fun this can be when you start going through all this stuff. All right, what questions did you have? We have 30 seconds. All right, guys, time to say your goodbyes for today. Thank you to our YouTube community. Remember, everyone, to use your metronome. Decide how much you're going to practice. If it's 5 minutes today, say, all right, I'm going to do one exercise for 5 minutes. Maybe it's blues example 1. Maybe it's the first 5 notes of the blues scale. Keep track of your time. You can always, anybody has any questions, you can email me, bob@imusicacademy.com or imusicacademy1@gmail.com. And if you have any questions, and if anybody goes to the store and you see, or in this description, you'll see that I have a ridiculous opportunity for anybody wanting to get to be a part of our membership group, to get all crazy blues courses, and then see if it's right for you to become a member. If you decide to become a member, it's literally investing in one lesson a month for me, but instead you get a minimum of 8 to 10 lessons every single week. Well, not every week, every month. And we do Zoom lessons today. For those of you who are members, and you need to know that I sent you an email very recently, an hour and a half ago, and it has all of our streams that we've been doing the last couple of weeks. It has the PDF that Ted made for us. So another shout out to Ted for making that. And Vicky's also working on some lessons for us. Thank you to, I always like to do my shout outs here. Thank you today for tuning in. Peter, Vicky, Claire, as always. Paul G, love having you here today. Ted, of course. Let me see who else. Of course, Ted. I'm just going through the thing here. Jeffrey has been here from the beginning. Love having Jeffrey. And all the way from Poland, Rizard. We are so glad you're here and glad that you're taking up the piano. I think you're going to do amazing. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Bye, Peter. Peter, always so good to see you. I count on seeing you every time we do a stream, and absolutely miss you guys when you're not on the streams, but I know you guys are watching the replay. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And for my members, I'll see you Monday morning at 8:30 a.m., if not sooner. You got 30 seconds to say your goodbyes, and I'll see you guys.